Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to welcome back Shawn Martinez, the Prevention and Treatment Services Manager for Josephine County. Good to see you again. How are you, Shawn?
Good to see you. Thank you.
So it's back to school time. It's September, and we got to let our kids go and spread their wings a little bit. But there's a lot of things that kind of parents maybe should be aware of.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about back to school, kids hanging out in a different culture than they are at home, there's a lot of things that parents need to be aware of. Keep up on the times of our substance.
And what are you seeing as far, I mean, we'll go through them all. What are you seeing with alcohol here locally?
Well, alcohol is still the #1 abused drug by our youth. It hasn't gone down tremendously, but it's higher than all other substances. And so we're seeing parents needing to really pay attention to who their kids are hanging out with, where they are, setting guidelines, and just having conversations about the effects of alcohol on a person's body, and especially a brain that's not fully developed yet.
And certainly marijuana is now recreationally legal for those 21 and up, obviously not our high school and under kids. What should parents be aware of with that now that it's 21, just like alcohol?
Well, I think that the thing with marijuana is there's so much research that still needs to happen, and our youth are growing up in a culture where it's kind of becoming the norm. And I found this great statistic this morning when I was doing a little bit of research, and 1 in 10 people using marijuana become addicted to it. And if they start using before the age of 18, it becomes 1 in 6. So much like alcohol as an adult, people can use it and not have terrible consequences. But when you're talking about a youth that really doesn't have the mentality to know the difference between right and wrong, or their memories are not fully developed.
Their brains are fully developed, are developing. I don't think it's in our 20s or 30s that our brain is fully developed.
Yeah, so it's like making sure that they hear from parents, are role modeling, the parents are role modeling for them, and just setting some guidelines for them.
Okay, all right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Shawn Martinez from Josephine County, Prevention and Treatment Services Manager. So we were talking about alcohol and marijuana with our children, and everyone going back to school now, and they're hanging out with different kids and out of our reach, out from under our wing, if you will. What age should parents be talking to their kids about some of these things?
Well, I think it's an ongoing conversation from the time they get into kindergarten all the way through high school. And of course, you change that conversation as they get older and developed. But, you don't want kids taking things from strangers. You don't want, it's just simple, ongoing conversations, not a drug talk, but things that kids should be aware of.
Yeah, and I imagine opioids are a huge part of that as well.
Yes. Prescription drugs, don't take any pills.
Sure, yeah, of course. Okay, so obviously vaping has been a huge topic of conversation across the country this month, especially the last week or so. What should parents be telling their kids right now about something like that?
Well, I think especially for high schoolers, the vape pens have become really popular because of the smoke. You can, smoke rings, different things you can do with the smoke. However, there's still tons of chemicals in that. And so where kids may have the understanding they're not getting nicotine, they're still getting all those chemicals. And it's really unknown. However, we have seen a couple deaths recently. I think it was 450 respiratory illnesses because of vaping. And so it's just being aware and making sure that you're monitoring. Vape pens are very easy to hide. It looks like a USB drive. And so helping educate the kids that it's not just beware of not having nicotine, but of all the chemicals.
And now that tobacco is 21 and up in Oregon, is the conversation much different for parents and their kids, whether it's 18 or 21, as far as kids staying away from cigarettes?
Well, I don't think so. I think the age makes it a little bit harder for them to obtain it. And we have some laws in place. For instance, adults should not be smoking in the car with someone that is 18 and younger. And that was passed.
Illegal, correct?
It's illegal, yes. Yeah. And so tobacco is not as enticing to our youth as the vaping, and so we've been sold on this idea that the vaping is much better for you than smoking, and I think that research is going to show that's not true, and they're both pretty detrimental to our lungs and other diseases that causes.
Well, certainly a lot of research being done as we speak regarding that.
Yes.
Bears to see as it unfolds. Good to see you. Thanks for breaking
Thank
everything down
you.
for us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.